Priyanka Agarwal welcomes you all to our channel A to Z Softech. Here you will get educational videos related to NCERT subjects and technical subjects based on computer science. If you find our videos helpful to you, so please like and share the videos. Do subscribe the channel and hit the bell icon to get updates about new videos. To get more clarity on the topic, please watch the video till the end. Feel free to post your queries in the comment section below the video. You will get the link of data related to the video in the description box. You can find our video using hashtag NCERT by Priyanka ma'am or hashtag NCERT A to Z Softech. Now let's start with the topic. Hello all. Today we are going to discuss second chapter of class 10 civics, that is federalism. Now let's start it. Meaning of federalism. The power is divided between a central authority and various constituent units of the country. A federation has two levels of governments. One is the government for the entire country. The others are government at the level of state that look after much of the day-to-day administration of their states. If we take India as an example, so government for the entire country is our central government, whereas governments at the level of states are all states governments. Now the meaning is clear to us that federalism means distribution or decentralization of authority between different levels of governments. Now, features of federalism. There are two or more levels of government. Different tiers of government govern the same citizens, but each tier has its own jurisdiction in specific matter of legislation, taxation and administration. Further, the jurisdiction of the respective levels are specified in the Constitution. So, the existence and authority of each tier of government is constitutionally guaranteed. Fourth feature of federalism is the fundamental provisions of the Constitution cannot be unilaterally changed by one level of government. Further, courts have the power to interpret the Constitution and the power of different levels of government. One more feature of federalism is that sources of revenue for each level of government are clearly specified. So these are some features of federalism. Objectives of federalism. There are two main objectives of federalism, that is to safeguard and promote unity of the country, and second one is accommodate regional diversity. So these are two main objectives of federalism. Now, what makes India a federal country? First, the Constitution declared India as a union of states. Next, the Indian Union is based on the principles of federalism. Then, three tiers of federalism: union, state and panchayat. Further, the Constitution clearly provides a threefold distribution of legislative powers between the union government and the state governments. So these are some features that why India is called a federal country. In India, there are three tiers of federalism, or we can say the government is divided into three parts, that is central government, state government and local government. Now, let's discuss how the powers between the union government and the state government are divided. First is union list. What is this? It includes subjects of national importance. Subjects are included in this list because we need a uniform policy on these matters throughout the country. So union government alone can make laws relating to the subject mentioned in the union list. Example of some subjects that included in this list are foreign affairs, banking, communications and currency. Second one is state list. It contains subjects of state and local importance. The state government alone can make laws relating to the subjects mentioned in this list. Examples for this list can be trade, commerce, agriculture and irrigation. Next list is concurrent list. So what is this? So it includes subjects of common interest to both union government as well as the state governments. Both union and state governments can make laws on the subjects mentioned in this list if their laws conflict with each other. The law made by the union government will prevail, such as education, forest, trade unions, marriage, adoption. So on these subjects, union and state government both can make laws. Residuary power. It includes those subjects that came up after the constitution was made. So according to our constitution, the union government has the power to legislate on these residuary subjects. Example of residuary power is computer software. How does India practice federalism? Let's understand it. The real success of federalism in India can be attributed to the nature of democratic politics in our country. It can be divided into these parts by creating linguistic states, by language policy, or by power sharing among governments. Let's study it one by one. First is linguistic states. What is this? Let's understand it. From 1947 to 2020, the boundaries of several old states of India were changed in order to create new states. This was done to ensure that people who spoke the same language lived in the same state. Some states were created not on the basis of language but to recognize differences based on culture, ethnicity or geography. These include states like Nagaland, Uttarakhand and Jharkhand. Experience shows that the formation of linguistic states has actually made the country more united. Next, language policy. Our constitution did not give the status of national language to any one language. Hindi was identified as the official language, but Hindi is the mother language of only about 40% of Indians. Therefore, besides Hindi, there are 21 more languages recognized as scheduled language by the Constitution. States too have their own official language. Further, center-state relations. Center-state relation is one more way in which federalism has been strengthened in practice. This led to a new culture of power sharing and respect for the autonomy of state government. This trend was spotted by a major judgment of the Supreme Court that made it difficult for the central government to dismiss state governments in an arbitrary manner. Thus, federal power sharing is more effective today. So, because of these three practices, India is continuing as a federalism country or democratic country. Meaning of decentralization. Federal governments have two or more tiers of governments, but a vast country like India cannot be run only through these two tiers. States in India are as large as independent countries of Europe. Thus, Federal power sharing in India needs another tier of government below that of the state governments. When power is taken away from central and state governments and given to local government, it is called decentralization. Let's understand local government scenario with the help of diagram. So, local government in rural areas. So, at village level there is Gram Panchayat formed by Gram Sabha and headed by Sarpanch. Whereas at block level there is Panchayat Samiti whose members are elected by Panchayat members and headed by block development officer. At district level there is Jila Parishad formed by elected members and has members of Lok Sabha and MLA of the district and whose chairman is Jila chairperson. So this is the structure of local government at rural area. Now let's understand structure of local government in urban area. So in urban area, government is divided into two parts, that is in towns and in big cities. So in towns, it is municipalities and municipal chairperson is head of this. Whereas in big cities, there is municipal corporations and mayor is the head of municipal corporation. So these are local government structure in urban area and rural area. So here second chapter ends. Keep learning, do revise and stay safe. Thank you all.